Discover the world without barriers. Start dreaming of your next accessible getaway. At Genius, we want everyone to have memorable travel experiences. We covered the basic travel essentials. In one single travel map. Our Genius map shows the best destinations and neighborhoods, ensuring you will create great travel memories.
Wonderful. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about it before the Q&A?
Yes, thank you, Christy, and thank you for having us here. So this is a global travel dream planning and book platform that we have built and curated for the last 5 years, with the real intent to make travel accessible for anyone. This AI tech platform would not be very successful without a partnership, and so I'm pleased to announce that we have found a partner in Sarge Traveling, who is a leader in global accessibility as well, but then in the offline world. And so together we are powering together. Our tech platform will power Sarge Traveling tour operator model to become the OTA for accessibility. But beyond that, because as we all know, the go-to-market for OTAs is very competitive and very expensive, we, as you could see, are trying to build a lifestyle platform for people with disabilities around the world, so that they can use our app, travel app, on a daily basis for domestic and home use, to travel to the right shopping streets and know where to go for the best restaurants, etc., from an accessibility perspective. And then when they go for travel, that they would think about us and use our travel platform to actually book in the way you know that an OTA would work, Real the World, Booking.com, Accessible Go. So together with John Sarge Travel and our tech platform, we are trying to revolutionize the world, providing access to travelers around the world. It's a live platform, but we are infusing the 200,000 curated hours of knowledge of accessibility around the world from Sarge Traveling into our platform in order for us to go live in 2025 Q1 with this platform. Any questions?
Yes, we are going to start with Betty.
Hi, thank you for doing that presentation. I do have one question, which is the data around accessibility. How is that getting into the system? Is it self-identified by like a venue, like the hotel, or is it kind of a Waze-like platform where everybody's throwing in their ideas of what's accessible and not? Can you help me understand that?
Great question. So we have 3 different data sources. One is we extracted everything from Google Map. So the elevations of the street, if there's a sidewalk or not, if there's a ramp or not, and if you can cross the street. So every single component on every meter in the world from Google Map and other open source databases. Secondly, for the last 5 years, we expected anything on TripAdvisor, Booking.com, Marry.com, and any travel website that you and I have seen and used for the last 20 years, accessible and non-accessible features and facts and figures. And last but not least, and that's why we partnered with John Sachs, he has worked for 15 years in this space and has curated 200,000 hours of self-evaluated expert assessments with pictures of every single venue, restaurant in various destinations. And those 3 different databases together become a proprietary, unique large language model for us to power our AI model.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Excellent question. And let's go on to Katie.
Hi. How frequently is kind of related, I think, to that last question, but how frequently is the live data updated? And I suppose what I mean by that is if you had a sidewalk that had roadworks that you couldn't then get onto it, that had just come up. Equally, if you're in a breakfast venue that has an elevator that is not working that day, how does that work?
So we are not a live model in that sense, because these things can happen tonight, right, or at any minute of the day. And therefore, we can't solve that. What we do solve is to make sure that we provide options and a risk assessment. Is there 1 elevator or 2, 3, 4 elevators, so that people can make informed decisions. But we scrape the world and all those 3 data sets, as I just mentioned, on a monthly basis to refresh. But sadly, there is a reality of constraints, the example that you just mentioned.
Wonderful. Excellent question. I love it. Moving on, we have Chris.
Thanks, Christy. Hi, Hannes. Nice to see you, and great job. My question is kind of dovetailing off of the previous 2 questions. You said you can book through your platform. And are you just going through kind of traditional, and you mentioned Wheel the World, full disclosure, Samaritan's an investor in Wheel the World. Are you just connecting to things like Expedia and Kayak and Priceline and maybe Wheel the World? One of the things that I'm sure you're very aware of is many times when people with disabilities book travel, the hotels or destinations tell them, oh yeah, we got this, we got this, we got this. And then they show up and they actually don't have those accommodations. And it's really a poor experience. Like a Wheel the World goes in and is literally like measuring for things and documenting it and verifying. How are you ensuring that you're sending people to places that the information is accurate, especially when they go to book? Or are you going to build your own booking engine yourself, or are you just going to partner? I guess that's the ultimate question.
First and foremost, accuracy of data. So we use a combination of AI and the Wheel the World method, right? And Sites Traveling has those same experts going into destinations and make manual assessment. But we believe, and we are in far advanced of testing in-house models to really automatically scan an entire cruise ship, automatically scan an entire hotel. I'm in Bellagio, Las Vegas next month, and before I go in, I already scanned all the open spaces, all the disability rooms, from the Hoyer lift to the faucet, the width of the door, the height of the bed. AI models can really turn any picture and video into these measurements, and therefore we believe that we can be the largest supply in the world by end of Q1 2025, because we do that combination of manual intervention and 90% of it completely automated with AI. From a booking perspective, it really depends on the level, right? The most advanced and most needed travelers, we sometimes have to do a manual intervention, like Accessible Go, Wheel the World, Sites Traveling. You want to sometimes call the hotel to triple confirm because you can't go wrong. But we are really targeting all the different disabilities, and that includes the elderly senior travelers, for example, or people like myself. I'm not in a wheelchair. I can walk, but I can only walk 20 minutes radius, and then I get tired and I get pain. And so we identify the neighborhoods and the streets where I can still do all the things I want to do, walking distance, and maybe need some accessibility needs, but not the accessibility room. And as you can imagine, that size of segment is much larger than people with a severe disability that really need that disability room. And so in the group that I just mentioned, we also target, and those can really be powered by the traditional booking engines that you just mentioned. But there is a niche or segment that you and I know, and everybody else on the call likely, that really need that last mile double, triple check, and that may never be able to be solved 100% by automation, but 95%. I hope I answered the question.
Gotcha. Thank you. That was super helpful. One quick follow-up. Have you talked to companies like Good Maps? Like if you're going in and mapping in like physical environments, are you using like that LiDAR technology? And there are some other navigation companies that maybe you could develop partnerships to more easily get that information, or is that?
No, so we built our own data layer on top of Google Map globally for abled and disabled travelers, travel experiences at every 10 by 10 meters square worldwide. And now we are running 24/7. We are running all the pictures and videos that are on every street of the world, including the Google Map 360 video, right? And you can scan that.
I'm so sorry. We are over time.
Okay, you can scan that, and we do it fully automated. Okay.
If you are not